Hello and welcome back to the world according to Reese. In this video, I want to talk about how blind people use technology and in particular how screen readers work. This is one of the questions I get asked most often, and it's something that a lot of people find quite surprising. A screen reader is a piece of software that allows blind and visually impaired people to use computers, phones, and other devices by turning what's on the screen into speech, Braille, or both. Instead of seeing what's on the screen, I listen to it or read it through a Braille display. I don't use just one piece of technology. I use several different tools depending on what I'm doing and also depending on the task at the time. I sometimes find that different tech works better for different tasks, which I'll explain a bit more about in a moment. On Windows computers, I use a screen reader called JAWS, which stands for Job Access with Speech. JAWS reads out everything on the screen, including menus, buttons, text, and notifications. I use the keyboard rather than a mouse, and I navigate by jumping between headings, links, form fields, and other elements. JAWS essentially gives me a spoken version of what a sighted person would see visually. It takes practice, but once you're used to it, it becomes very fast and efficient. On Apple devices, such as my Mac, iPhone, and iPad, I use VoiceOver, which is Apple's built-in screen reader. VoiceOver works slightly differently from JAWS, but the idea is the same. It allows me to explore the screen using gestures, keyboard commands, and audio feedback. One of the things I like about VoiceOver is how well it's integrated into Apple products. I can use it across multiple devices and it works with a wide range of apps straight out of the box. I also use a piece of specialist technology called the Braille Sense Polaris. This is a note taker that combines a refreshable Braille display with speech output. It allows me to read and write in Braille, browse the internet, check emails, and manage documents. The Polaris can be especially useful when I need to work without disturbing other people. For instance, if I'm using JAWS in busy environments such as in offices or in classrooms, I would have to wear headphones all of the time. One of the advantages with the Polaris, however, is the ability to turn off the speech and just use the Braille only. This is especially useful in situations where I need to be able to hear instructions from other people, such as when I'm listening to a lecturer. For me, Braille is, to say the least, quite difficult. I learnt Braille using a traditional Braille machine back in nursery, but for myself, I find that when trying to read something in Braille, I feel I'm actually focused more on the dots on the page rather than the actual content, which can become quite overwhelming. Although I occasionally use the Braille display on the Polaris, I prefer to use the speech function as much as possible, as I feel this is the best way to take in and retain information. Another form of technology I use a lot is smart speakers, such as Alexa. These are particularly useful because they're voice controlled. I can ask for the time, set reminders, check the weather, control smart home devices, and access information without needing to interact with a screen at all. I often use my smart speaker when writing essays, etc., as this is a useful way to check I have spelled words correctly, especially as I can't check this visually. All of these technologies work together to help me access the digital world. They don't make things easy, but they make things possible. One thing that often surprises people is that I'm not being guided step by step by the computer. I'm actively navigating, making decisions, and interacting with content, just in a different way. In future videos, I'll be showing how I actually use some of this technology in practice, including demonstrations of screen readers and accessibility features. I wanted this video to give an overview first, so everything makes sense when we get to that stage. Technology plays a huge role in independence for blind people, but it only works properly when websites, apps, and devices are designed with accessibility in mind. That's something I'll be talking about more on this channel as well. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel if you can, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss future videos, including demonstrations and deeper dives into assistive technology. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.